Greetings. I'm really running a little late today. I hope this video works out okay. I'm not used to doing them at night. But so many things have been going on. You know, this is the time of the year when we're so busy. And I wanted to get this video up because it's a response to the Pagan YouTube group challenge on Facebook. I think I did a few other videos here on my channel for that, and I'm late, I'm behind, but this is a perfect time to speak of the two together. We're talking about the sun and the moon and the sun, weeks 10 and 11 of the challenge, or yes, 10 and 11 of the challenge. It's perfect to combine the two because, especially at this time of the year, we just had the equinox where the sun and the moon were same amount of light and darkness, and now we are going towards the light. A little longer light each day, but time of balance right now during the equinox. So I thought it would be perfect to speak of both of these. I don't have a whole lot really to say. I just wanted to bring up a few, maybe get your brains, pick your brains a little bit about a few things here. But because I think everybody is in agreement, the sun and the moon, we have such passion about both of them, of course. And my passion is really, really well described, I think, with the tarot deck. I'm really a lover of these cards. This is my hoi polloi. The images are basically based on the Rider-Waite deck. And let's start with the sun, of course. Let's go to talk the sun first. The sun here, as you can see, you're all familiar probably with this image. It's such a joyous image. It's just bursting with life, because that's what the sun is. To me, the sun is a giver of life. We could not absolutely live without the sun. We know that. And what is so comforting about the sun, other than the warmth and the light and things like that natural that we get from it, is the fact that it is something that we can count on. And that's really what this card speaks to. This card speaks to us that no matter what happens, how desolate our situation might be, or how depressed we might feel, or how much failure we're experiencing in our life, when we see this card coming up in our tarot spread, it reminds us that there's always a new day, there's always a new opportunity on the horizon, right? And that sun is going to come out tomorrow no matter what. Okay, the darkness is not going to last forever. And so it's just such a happy card for me. And I thought I would bring that up in this discussion. And then, of course, we have the moon. And the moon card, the moon, we talk about the moon. People have a very romantic feeling about the moon. Everybody loves the moon. And, of course, we're very affected by the moon. This card speaks to our dream, more of a dream state, more of will our dreams come true? It reminds us to be prepared for the unexpected, right? We're not always sure about the outcome of a solution. We cannot be positive what's going to happen. We don't always know what's truth and what is not truth. Sometimes we're deceived, right? The light of the sun shows us things very, very clearly. The moon, not so much. The moon shines and puts some light down, but there's a lot in the shadows that we don't see. Not everything is visible to us, okay? I love talking about these two cards at this time of the year, talking about the sun and the moon at this time of the year. For another reason, too, the balance between the two is important, not necessarily having equal dark and light, but having both dark and light, having both sun and moon. Imagine a life without it. You can't, right? You can't. But also, I'm intrigued because we sometimes see some questionnaires going around where people say, what do you prefer, the sun or the moon? Well, how can you prefer one or the other? You know, how can you really? Because imagine, regardless of things about basic life and things like that, imagine if everything was as it seems, that there was no mystery, that there were no reason to hope, no reason, you know, everything's going to just be there in the light. You don't have any, there's no reason to dream and try to imagine something that might be coming true or whatever. Like this is a dream card, right? This is a dream card. Imagine if everything were just absolutely the way it seems. Okay. Imagine a world where you never knew what you could count on. Imagine how it would be if you did not have this sun. You do not have this hope at the end of darkness, or hope at the end of failure coming after. What the world would be like, you know. So I really like the dynamic between these two cards. Interestingly, when I pulled out my deck to pull out the cards, I started through the deck, you know, just looking, where are the cards? They were next to each other in the deck. Randomly. Or not. Anyway, I just have a few things to say. I don't want to talk a long time. But the last video that I did here on YouTube was about the big three in your astrological sign. And we talked about where is your sun, where was the sun at the time of your birth, where was the moon at the time of your birth, and also what was your ascendant. But we won't talk about that now. We're just talking about the sun and the moon. And I think it's really timely that we are on to this subject right now, because the sun is talking about, of course, your character, what motivates you, your ego, and the moon is how you react to those things. And some people sort of poo-poo that idea about the moon reacting. I remember I used to teach, and you know, new teachers come into the schools, and everybody would say, oh, the moon, you know how much the moon affected the children. They sort of went wacky a little bit with the moon, with the full moon. And people say, oh, how ridiculous it was. Well, no, it was really actually very true. And I also worked for a while in hospitals, and I did see absolutely the rise in certain kinds of admittances and things during full moons. So that's kind of interesting. So we know that it has a lot of position. Both of them have, a lot of effect on both of us. Both of them have a lot of effect on us. And, but one thing I was thinking about, in talking about the moon particularly, because the sun, I think everybody is really in agreement about this, you know, how important the sun is in our lives. The moon, not everybody follows the moon, not everybody follows the phases of the moon, etc. Well, first of all, if you've been to the beach, been to the ocean, I think everybody's seen the ocean pretty much by the time you reach an adulthood. If you haven't seen the ocean, you need to. But I'm sure everybody has experienced it. And we know that the tides are affected by the moon, the pull of the moon, the gravity of both the earth and the moon, and the sun, actually, the gravities of all three. But that's sort of beyond our understanding right here. But anyway, they cause the tides. And it's pretty powerful stuff, you know. Isn't that pretty powerful stuff when you think about it? For over 200 years, farmers have been following the Farmer's Almanac, and they have been planting their crops and doing other things according to the phases of the moon. Not witches, just farmers who absolutely believe it's not a phase, right? In the power of the moon and how it affects our gardens. I almost forgot to mention, because I'm a crone and it's been a while, but women know very well the effect of the moon on their own monthly cycles if they are not being interfered with in some way artificially through some kind of medication or something, hormone treatments or whatever. But so everybody's very, very much in agreement on those things. So what is my point? Well, sort of my point is, why do we stop there? If we think, we believe in the power of the moon, do we not believe in the power of the moon with the tides? Do we not believe in the power of the moon with the gardening, with the farmer? Do we believe the Farmer's Almanac? Over 200 years? I think we do. Okay? So I'm looking at another book here on my desk, and the other book is, here's my day book, and I'm looking in there, and for today's date, any date actually, it shows you, first of all, for tomorrow, Wednesday, the 23rd, this is going to be the full moon. The moon will be entering, it says here, the moon will be entering Libra at 1:23 a.m. Okay? What does that mean? It also says a full moon. I know it's good, probably good for planting, but what is this moon entering Libra? Why do we care about that? Why do we care about that? Well, it must mean something important, or they wouldn't have put it in the book, right? So I looked it up. I have a moon book here. And the moon in Libra it says in here that there are certain energies. When the moon, let me explain, when the moon is passing through a sign, in this case passing through Libra, okay, the energies of the moon are most effective when it is passing through a sign that's in harmony with what you want to do, okay? So you can find this information on the internet, you can find it in books, but what does that mean to us? Well, I like this book a lot. This is just a silly little moon magic book, not a silly little book, I don't know, but it's just a book. And what does it mean? Well, she divides this, the author divides these things into different areas, what it means when the moon is in Libra. And she has, what does it mean to you in just, your everyday life? Well, here she's telling us that it's a good time to do things that require balancing or fair play. It's a good time to have court appearances. It's a good time to balance bank accounts or to settle wills, those kind of things. It's also a good, what kind of magical work is it good for? Well, here it says it's good for any kind of spell work that requires some kind of cooperation or justice. Also, romance or self-awareness spells. Very effective if performed at this time. And also in the gardening, she states when the moon is in Libra, it's best for gardening with flowers and with planting with ground cover or vines. Okay, I'm fortunate because I'm planting tomatoes tomorrow, but whatever. Anyway, so that's sort of information we can use, or can we? I'm not sure. I'm sort of asking what you think. Do you ever look beyond the phases of the moon, the full moon, the new moon, the waxing, the waning, the dark moon? Okay. There's a lot of lore associated with the moon, and on the days it has on the first day of the moon, the second day, third, fourth, they have 10 days. The 10 days of the moon are supposed to be specific for certain things, and it talks about these are days following the appearance of the full moon. So after tomorrow would be, I guess, the first day, or the day after. I don't know how it goes. But the first day is a good time to begin new projects. Well, we're beginning all kinds of new projects here, aren't we, in the spring? At Ostara, we started them maybe at Imwalk. We planned them, and now we're actually setting them out in Ostara. A good time for bargain hunting on day 2nd. Third day of the moon, you're supposed to be watching against personal theft. Fourth day of the moon is a good time to make home repairs or do some remodeling or those kind of things, working around the moon. The 5th day is the weather marker. It's supposed to, whatever weather happens on the 5th day of the full moon, it's supposed to be that kind of weather for most of the month. And it's also the best day, supposedly, to conceive a child. So, I don't know. I won't be using that, but maybe some of you might be interested in trying that out. And let us know how that works. 6th day is a good day to start a vacation. or also a good day for fishing, outdoor, doing sports or things outside. 7th day is good day for finding the perfect mate. So if you're looking for a mate, the 7th day of the full moon, get out there, get out there. I don't want to name your name, but you know who I'm talking to, and I know you're going to be watching this. Get out there, go find a mate. And, but not always good, not always good. The 8th day, oh, the 8th day, there's a caution, the 8th day, don't get sick on the 8th day of the moon, because if you're sick on the 8th day, you might not recover, or at least not recover speedily. The 9th day, oh, I don't like this either. It says if the moon touches your face, the moonlight touches your face while you're sleeping, will steal your beauty. And the 10th day, if children are born on the 10th day of the full moon, will be hyperactive, opinionated, headstrong, and no respect for authority. Well, I don't know about that. Interesting. So there's a lot of folklore that goes to the moon, but there's also a lot of, what is fact, what is not fact. It's up for us to set that out and look and see, right? Okay. Earlier when we spoke of your sun sign and your moon sign, we said that the moon sign, while the sun sign determines your personality, the moon sign determines how you're going to react, your feelings, your feelings. And there's, and that's very interesting to find out. Everybody's read horoscopes based on your sun sign. But on your moon sign, it's interesting to find out how do you react to things. Here it says for me, moon in Cancer. If you saw my last video, you heard that I was a triple Cancer. I have my sun, my moon, and my ascendant are all in Cancer, so I'm what's known as a triple Cancer. My moon being in Cancer, it says here in this book, this is my very well-loved, I have to show you my very well-loved book. I need to get some tape or something. I don't look at it that often, that's why I don't fix it. Anyway, my moon is in Cancer, so it says about me, your feelings run deep, especially with family ties. Your sensitivities border on being psychic. That can depress you unless you get out with others. You like to work, but only if it is creative rather than physical work. Well, that's pretty true. I don't know, it's pretty true. Anyway, there's more to it than that even. It goes into next, where in what house was the moon? Okay? Remember when we said we're making your astrological chart of your sky, of the planets of the time of your birth and the place you were born, moving through the 12 houses, where was that moon and what house? And depending on where your moon was, it's going to tell you what activities are most affected by your unconscious responses. Remember, we're talking about the unconscious responses, how you react to circumstances around the activities. Okay, I won't give you mine, but I'll just say here, for instance, if your moon is in the first house, you seek out all opportunities for achieving personal recognition. Your need for approval leads you to try almost anything. Okay, that makes it easy for others to use you. Okay, so that's a trait that's sort of important, right? So if you have an opportunity to get an astrological chart done, I would take the opportunity. I think it's a really good thing to do. Anyway, I don't want to go on and on about this. I did want to mention one last thing, though, when we're talking about the moon. In this book as well, and other places, it talks about different names for different moons that appear monthly. In this one, it's talking about the hawk moon. And, you'll see different names for different moons depending on what source you're looking at. And there was a really lovely video that Annie did on Mirth and Reverence, years ago, I don't know, a couple years ago. I'm hoping it's still up. But she talked about naming moons. How she did not go by the names that and you see in a book how she found the name and named them herself based on her experiences. And I think that's really lovely. And it speaks to her very close relationship with the moon. So, anyway, I don't know the point I'm trying to make is, I don't know how you can really pick and choose what you're going to Well, you need to. I'm not trying to make a judgment, but I'm wondering on what basis that that each of you pick and choose how important, how much the moon plays a part in your magical life, for instance. You know, if you, because I don't, as much as I try to garden by the moon and if I really need help with a spell or something, I will try really hard to, if all possible, to do things with the moon. But I'll tell you, for those kind of things, I really don't. I base it on the need of the time. Like you heard me, I'm planting tomatoes tomorrow. I've got tomatoes and they're ready to go, and it's a full moon, and I'm just gonna put them in. They're ready to go. I think it'll hurt me more to not put them in. So anyway, I'm just sort of interested in hearing what you have to say, and I've talked way too long, I'm afraid. Anyway, I really love these challenges, and I wish I was better at doing them timely so I didn't have to put two together like this. But again, I had trouble speaking to the moon and not the sun. The sun and the moon, to me, right now particularly, are so much a part of in our minds. They're really in our minds right now, and they're a part of our lives right now. They're very in everybody's minds, even people that are not pagans, people that are just wanting to complain about whatever, daylight savings time still or whatever. Anyway, that's all. Thank you for watching. Oh, thank you for coming to my channel. So I really appreciate you. I really do. I'm Rebecca, and I wish you blessings.